Hello guys and gals. I didn't look forward to me remaking this video, but apparently there's orangutans in my comment section that have no brain cells and no idea what they're talking about. So I'm gonna go over this video again. This time I'll make it shorter so the monkey brains can process what I just said. So I personally play on high Sens. That's how it has been for the longest in terms of like how I play COD. But if you want the best settings, right, depends on your controller. If your controller uses pads, right, how to know if your controller uses pads? If it's a default controller and it doesn't say Hall effects anywhere on the box, it's not a Hall effect controller. So if you don't have a Hall effect controller, you're better off just putting your dead zone to like maybe 4 to 5, and your left stick probably be like 60, so you can change directions faster. And then your left stick, you can put a dead zone as well. But if you don't have drift, I'll put my left stick to like 0, because you always have the rotational aim assist active. Even if you're like moving the slightest amount, it'll always latch on. So 0 is like what I go for, but if you can't put 0, I recommend putting like 3 or 5. Left stick, I already said that. Right stick, you can put it to 3 or 4 or maybe 5. I rock 3, sometimes drop it to 0, depends on the gun, but usually I'll leave it at 3. For right stick threshold, I'll put this to like maybe 90. I did it in the software, so I don't need to do it in the game. So I put that to like maybe 90, 95, maybe as low as 90 or 85. But you can mess around and see what works for you, but that basically changes how much you have to move your stick to like reach the maximum threshold. So that's left stick dead zone. I have those set to 0 because I don't want no dead zone on my triggers while I'm trying to shoot in that millisecond that I need to shoot. So I leave mine at 0s. And as for your look sensitivity, you can put that to as low as 6. That's personal preference. The pros use 6, but that's because they want the consistency. I don't use 6 because I want to be able to react half the time when I'm getting jumped. So I play mine to 15. Sometimes I drop it down to like 12 or 10 if I want more consistency in my shots, but usually I always rock 15 or high Sens. This is completely personal preference. Don't try to make anyone bully you into thinking that you're doing something wrong. You're not. You can rock whatever vertical sensitivity you want. Me, I use linear. It just feels like mouse and keyboard. It feels very consistent. But on controller, it's like it builds up my muscle memory. So whenever I pick up the game, I don't need to like wonder why my aim or shots are missing or my aim is being weird. It's whatever you put into the game. So if your aim is bad that day, it's not your day. Dynamic has like weird fancy curves that start out fast and then it slows down the more you drag. That's very bad if you're trying to drag scope. So it will speed up and it will slow down, and right before you reach the target, it will stop or slow down, and you wouldn't have missing shots. Me, I don't have that issue with linear because I can flick between targets pretty easy. So you can run dynamic for the maximum amount of help and aim assist. But if you want consistency, I recommend going linear. Do not do standard. It's on standard by default. Do not use standard. Standard is ass. Standard is like one of the worst response curves, but it does eliminate stick drift because it has a ramp and it has to ramp up in order to be able to input the values. As for focus, you don't care about none of that. Tac stance, that's just when you're in tac stance. As for custom sensitivity presume, I recommend using this over having a global sensitivity presume, because some weapons like don't behave very good with these sensitivities. So I recommend doing it for each weapon, like have like different settings for each weapon. That way you can have the consistent aim for each weapon. So I have the high zooms from like 6 to high zoom set to really high because I want to be able to drag scope with snipers, and with linear this feels better being able to drag scope. As for 4 to 5, 2 to 3s and low zooms, I want those the iron sights specifically being lower or higher, depends on the gun, but usually I just leave it at 3 and 2.85. These are my settings. You don't have to copy them exactly, but you can put these as low as 0.85 or 0.9, whatever floats your boat basically. And for target aim assist, I have it on, and default is it has stronger rotational aim assist on default, but the ADS is very wonky sometimes. Most people be using Black Ops because it has a slightly weaker rotational aim assist. However, its ADS aim assist is super sticky, so it just sticks to your targets. What is my thing? Modern? I'll fix that. But basically, it sticks, makes your aim more sticky. Right now, I'm missing shots because I have a dead zone. If I turn my dead zone off, I'll probably hit every single shot. You also got it right. You can also pull out a super high or static. If you guys are using static. But linear just feels more consistent to me. Especially when I'm moving in gunfights, it just feels better. As for gameplay, automatic Tac Sprint, I have that on. Some people say, oh, just put it off, so that way you can walk or sprint or any of that, or automatic sprint, so that way you're not making a lot of noise. Bruh, no one cares about noise. Half the time you already got hurt or they got a UAV up, so might as well just embrace the noise. Because which one would you rather be? Crouch walking and then get caught off guard and can't Tac Sprint because you have it on automatic Tac Sprint is off, or being able to Tac Sprint out of danger when you get shot at. So I recommend having it on, but some people turn it off. As for slide maintain sprint, I recommend turning this off. It makes your aim behave very wonky when you have it on. Like when you have it on, it like had to delay, like a half a second delay, where you can't slide, or when you do slide, it behaves very wonky and it's like inconsistent. But if you turn it off, you can always slide consistently and change directions. As for everything else, the only other thing I changed was free camera, look down the plunge instead of using my trigger. I have this thing off for no automatic parachute deploy, so I can go closer to the ground. As for sprint match indoors, aim outside, all tactical stance, I have that changed to ADS plus melee, so I can like change it on the go when I'm using like shotguns. So that way I don't have to keep like taking my finger off my left joystick to hit my D-pad all the time. So I have that set to melee. As for armor plate, supply all, everything else is pretty much the same. This one I have it on one by one, so I can like throw it and I can still use the left trigger or left bumper to activate the C4s. But you can put them on group, but sometimes the grouping prevents you from blowing up when you double tap X, prevents you from blowing up one of the C4s. So I have it on one by one. As for manual fire behavior, I have that set to independent for akimbo. Manual fire press. Everything else is pretty much the standard as it goes, except for the ping delay. I removed the delay off of the ping wheel, and I put a short delay on the danger, so I can double tap it way faster. When I had it on off, it would make the game not make me double tap, it would just make me regular ping, so I have that set to short now. And then wheels behavior, I have that hold. Scoreboard toggle, you can put it on hold if you want, if you don't want it messing up your thing. As for graphic settings, I'm just gonna do a quick run through. I have it on boost because I'm CPU limited in this game, but I'm not in other games, so I just put it on boost. I have VSyncs off. I have graphics preset on custom. I have my resolution set to 100% fidelity cast with 90% sharpness. VRAM target, I turned it down because it was a bug in the game that was making my VRAM usage go up to like 88, but it's only using 2 gigs, so I put it at 50. I could probably put it up to 60 for the time being. Variable rate shading, when I have that on. Texture resolution, normal. I have this on high. You can put it as low for the texture resolution, but I have it on low. Texture filtering, that's how sharp the filters look. You can put it at normal or high. It doesn't affect your VRAM much. I put mine at high. Detail, that's how the grass looks, I put it at low. Particle resolution, low. A bullet, I want to see bullets to see if someone's been there. Precision effects, I have that turned off. Shader quality low. This one I have it on minimal. Some people say they don't notice a difference in terms of minimal optimized. I put it on minimal. The less textures he has to download, the better, and it won't make me lag. Logo texture I have it on low, shadow low, space off, ambient occlusion off, screen space reflections off or low. Most of these are off or low. Tessellation off, volumetric low. All of these are just off. That way I can get the maximum amount of FPS in it. That's basically my settings video. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.